Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever noticed that the moment you hit 30, it feels like you've unlocked some secret, unwritten rulebook for life? Suddenly, conversations with friends shift from late-night parties to mortgage rates and the best brand of air fryer. If you've just crossed that threshold or are peering at it from your late 20s, you might be wondering, what's next? What really changes? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the realities, the joys, and the genuine transformations that come with life after 30. It's not about an ending. It's about a powerful, new beginning. Let's start with the physical side of things, because let's be honest, it's often the first thing we notice. That all-nighter you pulled in college with zero consequences? Yeah, after 30, that same feat requires a 3-day recovery plan, a gallon of water, and maybe a small personal loan for eye cream. Your metabolism, which once seemed like a magical, calorie-burning furnace, might start acting more like a slow-burning candle. You might notice new aches in places you didn't know you had. A fun weekend might now involve assembling flat-pack furniture, and the resulting back pain is a stern reminder that you're not invincible anymore. But here's the beautiful part of this shift. This is the decade where you truly start to listen to your body, not just use it. You begin to appreciate what it does for you. You start making conscious choices. Maybe you swap that third cup of coffee for herbal tea, or you discover a love for morning walks, not for an aesthetic, but because it genuinely makes you feel good. You learn that health isn't about fitting into a certain size. It's about having the energy to chase your goals, play with your kids, or hike up a mountain. You start investing in your long-term well-being. Sleep stops being a luxury and becomes a non-negotiable priority. You finally understand that what you eat directly impacts your mood and energy. This isn't a decline. It's an upgrade to a more mindful and sustainable way of living. You're no longer just driving the car. You're finally learning how to be its mechanic. Now, let's talk about your career and finances. Your 20s were likely a whirlwind of exploration. You might have hopped between jobs, tried different industries, or worked just to pay the bills. It was the era of figuring it out. But in your 30s, something clicks. You often find a new level of confidence and competence in your professional life. You've accumulated a decade of experience. You know what you're good at, what you enjoy, and most importantly, what you will no longer tolerate at work. You start to see your career not just as a job, but as a path you are actively building. This is the time many people start to take on leadership roles, mentor others, or even take the leap to start their own business. The desire for a big paycheck might start to be balanced by a desire for purpose, flexibility, and a healthy work-life balance. You realize your time and energy are finite, precious resources. Financially, the "I'll worry about it later" mindset fades away. You start thinking seriously about the future. Words like pension, investment, and asset allocation become part of your vocabulary. You're not just saving for a fun weekend anymore. You're building a foundation for your future security. It can feel daunting, but it's also incredibly empowering to know you're taking control of your financial destiny. It's the shift from short-term survival to long-term strategy. Perhaps the most profound changes happen in our relationships and social circles. In your 20s, your social life might have been about quantity, big parties, huge groups of friends, and a constant fear of missing out. After 30, the focus beautifully shifts to quality. You find you have less time and, frankly, less energy for superficial connections. Your circle might shrink, but the bonds within it deepen immensely. You gravitate towards people who uplift you, who understand you, and with whom you can have honest, meaningful conversations. Your friends become your chosen family. A Friday night might look less like a crowded club and more like a potluck dinner with a few close friends where you can actually hear each other speak. And you wouldn't trade it for the world. You learn the art of saying no. No to obligations that drain you. No to events you don't want to attend. You reclaim your time for yourself, your partner, and the people who truly matter. This curation of your social life is one of the greatest acts of self-care you can practice. It's about investing your social energy where it yields the most joy and support. You stop performing and start connecting. And this brings us to the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. Your 30s are a decade of profound self-discovery and acceptance. The insecurities that plagued you in your youth start to lose their power. You've been through enough ups and downs to know that you are resilient. You've made mistakes and survived them. You've had your heart broken and healed. All these experiences build a quiet, unshakable confidence. You start to care a whole lot less about what other people think. That outfit you love, but were too scared to wear? You wear it. That hobby you thought was weird? You embrace it. You begin to understand that your quirks and imperfections are what make you uniquely you. You're no longer trying to be a version of yourself that you think others will approve of. Instead, you're focused on becoming the most authentic version of yourself. This is where true happiness is found. You learn to set boundaries, not just with others, but with your own negative self-talk. You might pick up journaling, meditation, or therapy, not because something is wrong, but because you're committed to your own growth and mental well-being. You finally realize that you are not a project to be perfected, but a person to be known and loved, starting with yourself. So what about your mind and your passions? After 30, your perspective on the world often broadens. You might become more interested in current events, history, or understanding different cultures. Your empathy deepens. You see the bigger picture. You realize that your own problems, while valid, are part of a much larger human experience. This can be incredibly humbling and connecting. This is also a fantastic time to learn new things, not for a grade or a degree, but purely for the joy of it. Maybe you finally learn that instrument you've always dreamed of playing, take a pottery class, or start learning a new language. Your brain isn't old. It's primed with a decade of life experience, making it easier to connect new information to what you already know. Your passions are no longer just fleeting interests. They become essential parts of your identity. They are the things that recharge you and remind you who you are outside of your job and your responsibilities. This pursuit of curiosity keeps life vibrant and exciting. It proves that growth doesn't have a deadline. You're not just accumulating years. You're accumulating wisdom, skills, and a richer understanding of the world and your place in it. So, to anyone feeling anxious about leaving their 20s behind, let me reframe it for you. Life after 30 isn't about closing doors. It's about finally having the keys to open the right ones. It's a decade of intention, confidence, and authenticity. You trade youthful chaos for mindful clarity. You trade a wide circle for a deep one. You trade self-doubt for self-acceptance. Yes, your body might need a little more care, and your responsibilities will grow, but the richness you gain in return is immeasurable. You're stepping into your power. You're building a life that is not just lived, but consciously designed by you, for you. It's an incredible, rewarding journey. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this gave you a positive and exciting perspective on the amazing chapter that is life after 30. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future discussions. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What was the best thing that happened to you in your 30s? Until next time, take care and keep growing.